The day doesn't begin when the sun rises. It begins the moment you decide how it will unfold. Highly successful entrepreneurs understand that the early hours of the day are the foundation upon which the rest of their performance is built. They don't simply wake up and see what happens. They wake up with purpose. They have a vision for the day before the day even begins. They know that every minute spent in planning saves hours in execution. Without this discipline, the hours slip away into meaningless activities, and before they know it, the day is gone with nothing substantial accomplished. Starting the day with intentional planning is about more than writing a to-do list. It's about directing your life instead of reacting to it. Most people wake up and immediately get pulled into the noise of the world. Emails, messages, social media, small fires to put out. And because they didn't take a few minutes to set the tone for their day, they end up being driven by other people's priorities rather than their own. Successful entrepreneurs understand that the first hour of the day must belong to them. It's their time to align their mind, set their priorities, and decide what will truly move the needle in their business and in their life. The power of intentional planning lies in clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. When you start the day without a plan, you're like a ship without a compass, drifting wherever the waves take you. But when you take the time to plan, you decide where your ship is going and you adjust your sails accordingly. This is not about filling every hour with work. It's about making sure every hour counts. Successful entrepreneurs often start with one simple question. What are the 3 most important things I must accomplish today to make it a successful day? By focusing on these high-impact actions, they ensure that their energy and time are invested where it matters most. Intentional planning also creates a mental shift. It takes you out of the reactive mode and places you into the creator's mode. When you plan your day, you tell your mind that you are in control. This builds confidence. It builds momentum. And momentum is one of the most valuable forces in business. Once you've taken ownership of your schedule, you find that you are no longer at the mercy of interruptions. You can still adapt when needed, but you won't lose sight of the bigger picture because you've anchored your day to a clear plan. Another reason successful entrepreneurs value intentional planning is because it maximizes productivity. We all have the same 24 hours, but the difference between average and exceptional often lies in how those hours are used. Without planning, you may spend the day working hard, but end up achieving very little of real significance. With planning, you're able to filter out distractions, avoid unnecessary detours, and focus on activities that produce the highest returns. It's the difference between digging randomly in the dirt and digging exactly where you know the gold is buried. Intentional planning is also tied closely to mindset. A well-planned morning sets the tone for the entire day. When you start with clarity, you move with purpose. When you start with confusion, you carry that uncertainty into every decision. Entrepreneurs who win understand that success is often the result of 1,000 small, consistent decisions. Planning the day is one of those daily decisions that compounds over time. Each day builds upon the last, creating a rhythm of progress and achievement. The habit of starting the day with intentional planning doesn't require hours. In fact, it can be done in as little as 15 minutes. Some entrepreneurs plan their day the night before so they wake up ready to execute. Others prefer to rise early, review their long-term goals, and decide how today's actions will bring them closer to those goals. The method can vary, but the principle is the same. Take control before the world takes control of you. There's also a deeper psychological benefit. When you plan your day, you create a sense of certainty. The human brain thrives on certainty. It reduces stress and allows you to focus on execution rather than constant decision-making. Decision fatigue is a real enemy of productivity. By making the key decisions about your day in the morning, you free up mental energy for the challenges that truly require your attention. Entrepreneurs who master this habit also recognize the power of flexibility within structure. They plan their day with intention but allow room for opportunities and challenges they couldn't foresee. They know the plan is not a prison, it's a guide. It ensures that even if things change, they still move in the right direction. Without that guide, even the smallest detour can turn into a complete loss of focus. The truth is, success is not built on massive, once in a lifetime events. It's built on the daily discipline of doing what matters most. And the first step in that discipline is deciding what matters most before the day even starts. When you own your morning, you own your day. When you own your day, you own your week. When you own your week, you own your life. The habit of intentional planning is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone who wants to build something meaningful and lasting. The most valuable asset an entrepreneur has is not their product, not their office, not even their capital. It is their mind. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your decisions, and the quality of your decisions determines the quality of your results. Highly successful entrepreneurs understand this truth deeply, which is why they guard their mind like a priceless treasure. They are selective about what they allow into it because they know that every book they read, every conversation they have, every idea they entertain, and every environment they spend time in is shaping their future. Guarding the mind is not just about protecting it from negativity. It's also about feeding it with the right kind of input. The mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, weeds will grow. If you plant seeds of wisdom, knowledge, and skill, you will harvest success. Entrepreneurs who win in the long term make learning a daily habit, not an occasional event. They read books, listen to audio programs, watch educational content, and engage in discussions that stretch their thinking. They never fall into the trap of believing they already know enough, because they understand that the moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. Daily learning is a way of sharpen the axe before you cut the tree. Many people are so busy chopping that they never stop to sharpen. They work hard, but their results remain average because their methods, their mindset, and their strategies are outdated. Successful entrepreneurs take time every single day to sharpen their skills and expand their thinking, so when they work, they are operating at the highest possible level of effectiveness. This commitment to learning becomes a competitive advantage that compounds over time. What you know today may not be enough for tomorrow, but if you keep learning, you will always be prepared for the challenges and opportunities ahead. Guarding the mind also means filtering out harmful influences. Negativity, fear, gossip, and constant exposure to low-value content weaken your mental state. If you let pessimism fill your mind, your actions will reflect it. If you let doubt dominate your thoughts, you'll hesitate when opportunities appear. Entrepreneurs who rise to the top are ruthless about what they allow into their mental space. They choose their associations carefully. They spend time with people who challenge them, inspire them, and make them think bigger rather than those who drain their energy or limit their vision. They understand that the environment you place yourself in daily is constantly programming your mind. Whether you are aware of it or not, there is also an important connection between learning and confidence. Many people hesitate to take bold steps because they feel unprepared, but preparation is the result of learning. When you invest time in gaining knowledge and building skill, you begin to trust yourself more. That trust turns into bold action, and bold action leads to results. Each result reinforces your belief in yourself, creating a cycle of growth that all began with the simple habit of feeding your mind with the right material every single day. Learning for successful entrepreneurs is rarely random. They approach it with intention. If they want to grow in leadership, they study leadership. If they want to master sales, they immerse themselves in sales training. If they need to understand market shifts, they research trends and case studies. They are always aligning their learning with their goals. This focus ensures that the time they invest in personal growth directly impacts their ability to perform in business and in life. Learning becomes a tool they can use, not just information they store. Guarding the mind through learning also builds resilience. In business, setbacks are inevitable. What separates those who quit from those who rise stronger is the ability to think clearly under pressure. The more you learn, the more mental models you develop for problem solving. Instead of reacting emotionally, you have the knowledge and perspective to respond strategically. You see options others don't see because you've invested time in expanding your thinking. This is why successful entrepreneurs don't just learn in good times. They double their learning in challenging times. They know that the answer they're looking for might already exist in a book, a mentor's advice, or a past case study, and all they have to do is find it and apply it. There's also a discipline in consistency. Feeding your mind once in a while won't create transformation. It's the daily habit of learning that builds strength over time. Just as physical exercise keeps the body fit, mental exercise keeps the mind sharp. Entrepreneurs who prioritize learning make it a non-negotiable part of their schedule, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. They may read during their commute, listen to podcasts while exercising, or take an hour in the morning to study before the world demands their attention. This regular exposure to ideas, strategies, and stories keeps their mind in a constant state of growth. Finally, guarding your mind through learning is about taking full responsibility for what you know and what you don't know. Many people wait for someone else to teach them or for circumstances to force them to grow. Successful entrepreneurs don't wait. They seek out the knowledge they need. They pay for mentorship if necessary. They invest in training, and they constantly upgrade their thinking. They understand that in a rapidly changing world, ignorance is expensive, but learning pays the best interest. And so, day after day, they continue to protect their mind from the trivial and feed it with the essential, knowing that the person they become through learning will always be their greatest advantage. Every entrepreneur faces the same truth each morning. There are more things to do than there are hours in the day. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who simply stay busy is how they choose to invest their time. Highly successful entrepreneurs don't measure their worth by how many tasks they check off a list. They measure it by the impact of those tasks. They understand that not all work is equal. Some activities move the business forward in powerful ways, while others keep you occupied, but change nothing about your future. The secret lies in identifying and focusing on the high-value actions that produce the greatest results for the least wasted effort. This mindset is rooted in the understanding that time is a finite resource. Once spent, it cannot be recovered, and every moment spent on low-value tasks is a moment stolen from something that could have transformed the business. Many entrepreneurs fall into the trap of business. They fill their day with small tasks, emails, and constant meetings. And by evening, they are exhausted, but no closer to their big goals. Successful entrepreneurs refuse to let business replace progress. They focus on the 20% of actions that create 80% of the results, applying the principle of leverage to every part of their work. High-value actions are not always the easiest or most comfortable. In fact, they are often the most demanding. They require deep thinking, creativity, and courage. These are the actions that directly contribute to revenue, growth, and long-term stability, such as building relationships with key clients, creating scalable systems, refining the product, or exploring new markets. Low-value actions, on the other hand, are those that may feel urgent, but are not truly important, like checking every notification, attending meetings without clear purpose, or micromanaging details that could be delegated. The difference lies in whether the task moves the needle or merely keeps you in motion. Successful entrepreneurs make a habit of asking themselves throughout the day, is this the highest and best use of my time right now? This simple question acts as a filter, helping them prioritize what truly matters. They know that energy, like time, is limited. If they pour their best energy into trivial matters early in the day, they will have little left for the strategic moves that require their full mental capacity. That's why they protect their mornings or peak hours for their most valuable work. Leaving less demanding tasks for later, focusing on high-value actions also requires clarity on the bigger picture. You can't decide what matters most if you're unclear about where you're going. Entrepreneurs who succeed know their vision, their goals, and their metrics for success. With this clarity, they can evaluate opportunities and tasks with precision, saying yes to what aligns with their goals and no to what doesn't. This is where discipline comes into play. Turning down something that looks interesting but does not serve the mission is one of the hardest skills to develop. Yet it is a skill that separates the focused from the distracted. Another aspect of focusing on high-value actions is the willingness to delegate or eliminate. Many entrepreneurs struggle because they try to do everything themselves, believing no one else can do it as well. This mindset keeps them trapped in low-value activities that could be handled by others. Successful entrepreneurs identify tasks that are not the best use of their time and delegate them to capable people or automate them with systems. This frees up their time for strategic thinking, relationship building, innovation, and leadership. The true high-value work of an entrepreneur, high-value actions often have a compounding effect. One strategic decision made today can pay dividends for years. One powerful relationship built today can open doors to multiple opportunities tomorrow. One well-designed system implemented now can save hundreds of hours in the future. Entrepreneurs who understand this think beyond the immediate result. They look for actions that multiply their efforts and create ripple effects far beyond the initial investment of time and energy. Focusing on high-value actions also means being willing to slow down in order to speed up. Many people rush from task to task, thinking speed equals productivity. But moving quickly in the wrong direction is simply a faster way to fail. Successful entrepreneurs take the time to think deeply before they act, ensuring their effort is aimed at the right target. They would rather complete 3 meaningful tasks in a day than 30 meaningless ones. They understand that results come from quality of action, not just quantity. Distractions are the enemy of high-value work. Every notification, every unscheduled interruption, every shift in focus chips away at your ability to do what matters most. Entrepreneurs who thrive guard their time fiercely. They create boundaries, turn off distractions, and design environments where deep focus work can happen. They treat their time for high-value actions as sacred, not to be casually given away to every demand that arises. Ultimately, focusing on high-value actions is about taking ownership of your results. It's recognizing that you can work hard all day and still get nowhere if your energy is scattered across tasks that don't truly matter. It's about being intentional, strategic, and disciplined enough to say, I will put my best into the work that gives the greatest return. This is not just a productivity tactic. It's a philosophy of building a business and a life around what truly moves you forward rather than what merely keeps you busy. In the world of entrepreneurship, no one builds lasting success alone. Every great achievement is supported by a network of people, mentors who offer wisdom, partners who share the vision, clients who believe in the product, and a team that works tirelessly to bring ideas to life. Highly successful entrepreneurs know this, which is why they treat relationships not as random connections, but as intentional investments. They understand that the people you surround yourself with will either lift you higher or hold you back. So they choose their associations carefully and nurture them with purpose. Building relationships with purpose is not about collecting contacts like trophies. It's about creating genuine, mutually beneficial connections that stand the test of time. Too many people approach networking with a transactional mindset. What can I get from this person today? Successful entrepreneurs think differently. They ask, how can I add value to this person's life? How can I help them succeed? By leading with value, they naturally attract trust and loyalty, which often leads to opportunities far greater than anything they could have asked for directly. The foundation of purposeful relationships is authenticity. People can sense when you are only interested in them for your own gain. True connection comes from taking the time to listen, understand, and care about what matters to the other person. Entrepreneurs who excel in this area know the importance of asking thoughtful questions, remembering details about conversations, and following up with genuine interest. They are not afraid to celebrate the successes of others, even when it has nothing to do with their own business. This sincerity builds a reputation that opens doors long before any formal pitch is made. Another important aspect of building relationships with purpose is surrounding yourself with the right influences. The people you spend the most time with shape your thinking, your standards, and your behavior. If you consistently spend time with individuals who are negative, complacent, or lacking ambition, their mindset will eventually seep into yours. Successful entrepreneurs intentionally seek out people who challenge them, inspire them, and push them to think bigger. They understand that proximity is power. Simply being in the company of high performers raises your own level of performance. Purposeful relationship building also involves strategic thinking. Entrepreneurs know that in order to grow, they need to be connected to people who are ahead of them in knowledge, experience, and vision. This might mean seeking mentors who have already achieved what they aspire to achieve, or forming partnerships with individuals who bring complementary skills and perspectives. These relationships are not built overnight. They require consistent effort, showing up, providing value, and demonstrating reliability over time. But once established, they can become the foundation for exponential growth. There's also a key discipline in maintaining and strengthening relationships over the long term. Too often, people make a connection, enjoy a few exchanges, and then let it fade away until they need something. Successful entrepreneurs don't operate that way. They make it a habit to check in, share updates, send encouragement, or offer help without waiting for an urgent reason. They keep the relationship alive so that when opportunities arise, the bond is already strong and built on trust, not convenience. Another layer of purposeful relationship building is the ability to collaborate effectively. Some entrepreneurs struggle because they view everyone as competition. Those who thrive understand that collaboration often creates far more opportunities than competition ever could. By working together, sharing resources, and aligning strengths, they create outcomes that would have been impossible alone. This abundance mindset turns competitors into allies and transforms isolated efforts into powerful movements. Trust is the currency of meaningful relationships, and trust is built through consistency. If you say you will do something, you do it. If you promise to deliver, you deliver. Entrepreneurs who are reliable and keep their word quickly become the kind of people others want to work with, recommend, and support. In the fast-moving world of business, where deals can be made or broken on reputation alone, this consistency is one of the most valuable assets you can possess. Finally, building relationships with purpose means looking at the long game. You might meet someone today whose role in your journey won't become clear for years. You might offer help to someone now without any expectation, only to find that years later they are in a position to open a major door for you. The point is not to predict every outcome, but to treat every connection with care and respect. The entrepreneur who invests in people consistently without trying to force an immediate return is the one who eventually finds themselves surrounded by allies, opportunities, and a network that works as hard for them as they work for it. For an entrepreneur, the greatest asset is not just the mind, the skill set, or the network. It is the energy that fuels all of these. Without energy, even the best ideas remain dormant. Without health, even the most ambitious vision becomes impossible to execute. Highly successful entrepreneurs understand this deeply, which is why they treat their health as the foundation of their success. They know that the body is the vehicle that carries the mind and the will, and if that vehicle is neglected, the journey will be shorter, slower, and far more difficult. Protecting health and energy is not about occasional bursts of self-care when things start to break down. It is about building daily habits that sustain the physical and mental capacity to perform at a high level over the long term. Entrepreneurs live in a world where the demands never stop. There is always another meeting, another challenge, another opportunity. This pace can easily lead to burnout if energy is not managed intentionally. Those who rise to the top learn to respect the natural limits of their body and replenish themselves before exhaustion forces them to stop. One of the most important disciplines in protecting health and energy is consistent physical activity. Exercise is not just about looking fit. It is about maintaining strength, endurance, and mental clarity. Physical movement improves circulation, boosts mood, and sharpens focus. Successful entrepreneurs often schedule their workouts like business appointments because they know that without physical vitality, their decision-making, creativity, and resilience all suffer. They treat exercise as a productivity tool, not an optional luxury, because it directly influences how effectively they can perform throughout the day. Nutrition plays an equally critical role. What you put into your body becomes the fuel for your performance. A diet of processed, low-quality food may keep you alive, but it will not keep you performing at your peak. Entrepreneurs who protect their energy choose foods that sustain rather than drain them. They understand that stable energy levels, mental alertness, and even emotional balance are influenced by what they consume. They see healthy eating not as a restrictive chore, but as an investment in their ability to think clearly, move decisively, and stay engaged over long hours of work. Rest and recovery are also non-negotiable for sustained performance. In a culture that often glorifies sleepless nights and relentless hustle, successful entrepreneurs take a different approach. They realize that operating in a constant state of fatigue is not a badge of honor. It is a liability. Sleep is when the body repairs itself, the brain consolidates learning, and the mind resets for the next day's challenges. Skipping this essential recovery is like trying to run a business without ever upgrading your equipment. Those who protect their health guard their sleep hours with the same seriousness as they guard their most important meetings, because they know the quality of tomorrow depends on the rest they get today. Mental energy is just as important as physical energy, and protecting it requires awareness of emotional and psychological well-being. Stress is inevitable in entrepreneurship, but chronic stress is destructive. Successful entrepreneurs build routines that help them manage pressure, whether through meditation, breathing exercises, journaling, or simply taking regular breaks to reset their mind. They understand that mental overload leads to poor decisions, strained relationships, and diminished creativity, so they treat mental restoration as a strategic priority rather than a personal indulgence. Another key to protecting energy is learning the art of saying no. Every request, every meeting, every distraction consumes energy. If you say yes to everything, you will have no energy left for the things that matter most. Entrepreneurs who protect their health understand that every yes comes at a cost, and they spend their energy with intention. They decline commitments that don't align with their priorities, not out of selfishness, but out of respect for their own capacity and the responsibilities they've chosen to carry. Hydration, sunlight, fresh air. These small but powerful elements are often overlooked in conversations about performance. Successful entrepreneurs know that the simplest acts of care, drinking enough water, stepping outside for a few minutes, breathing deeply, can shift energy levels dramatically. They build small rituals throughout the day to recharge, recognizing that energy management is not a one-time activity, but a continual process of renewal. Protecting health and energy also requires long-term thinking. Many people push themselves to extremes in their younger years, believing they can always recover later. But the habits you build now shape the body and mind you will have in the future. Entrepreneurs who think ahead take care of themselves today, so they can still operate at a high level decades from now. They see health as a strategic advantage. Those who burn out or break down physically are forced to slow down, while those who maintain their vitality can keep building, innovating, and leading without interruption. Ultimately, protecting health and energy is about recognizing that success is a marathon, not a sprint. You cannot run full speed forever without collapsing. You must pace yourself, fuel yourself, and give yourself the care you need to go the distance. For an entrepreneur, this is not optional. It is the foundation upon which every vision, every goal, and every achievement rests. One of the most overlooked habits of highly successful entrepreneurs is the practice of reflection. In the rush to move forward, many people forget to stop and ask themselves whether they are even moving in the right direction. But successful entrepreneurs know that speed without direction is useless. They take time each day to pause, review, and make adjustments. This habit turns every day into a lesson, every mistake into an opportunity for growth, and every success into a stepping stone for the future. Reflection is not complicated, but it requires discipline. At the end of the day, it means asking a few important questions. What went well today? What could I have done better? Did I spend my time on the things that matter most? What did I learn that can help me tomorrow? These questions bring clarity. Without them, you can easily drift through days, weeks, and even months, repeating the same mistakes and missing the chance to improve. Reflection forces you to face reality, not as you wish it to be, but as it actually is, so you can make informed decisions moving forward. This daily habit also strengthens self-awareness, which is one of the most powerful tools in business and life. Many people live reactively, unaware of the patterns that shape their actions and results. Through reflection, successful entrepreneurs notice their own tendencies, how they react under pressure, where they procrastinate, what tasks drain their energy, and what activities give them the best returns. By becoming aware of these patterns, they can make deliberate changes rather than letting habits control them unconsciously, but reflection without adjustment is wasted effort. The second half of this habit is making small, strategic changes based on what you've learned. If a meeting format isn't working, they try a different approach. If a marketing campaign is failing, they adjust the message or the audience. If their personal energy is low at certain times of the day, they reschedule their most important tasks for when they are at their peak. This ability to course correct daily keeps them agile in a world where markets shift, technology evolves, and customer needs change rapidly. Successful entrepreneurs also understand that daily adjustment prevents small problems from becoming major crises. Many failures in business don't happen overnight. They happen slowly through a series of ignored warning signs. Reflection allows them to spot these signs early and take action before the situation becomes unmanageable. Just as a pilot makes constant micro adjustments to keep an airplane on course, entrepreneurs make small daily shifts to ensure they are still aligned with their goals. This habit keeps them from drifting off track without realizing it. Reflection and adjustment also build resilience. Entrepreneurship is not a straight path. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and unexpected challenges. By reviewing each day and making adjustments, entrepreneurs train themselves to recover quickly from difficulties. They don't see a bad day as a failure. They see it as feedback. This mindset keeps them moving forward, even when things don't go according to plan, because they know they can learn from the experience and come back stronger the next day. There is also a creative benefit to daily reflection. When you step back from the noise of constant activity, your mind has space to connect ideas, see patterns, and discover solutions that might have been invisible in the moment. Many entrepreneurs find that their best insights come not while they are working, but while they are thinking about the work, analyzing, questioning, and exploring possibilities. By making reflection a daily ritual, they create a consistent space for these breakthroughs to occur. The habit of daily reflection and adjustment does not need to take hours. Some entrepreneurs dedicate 10 to 15 minutes before bed to review the day. Others journal in the morning about the previous day's experiences before planning the new one. The method is less important than the consistency. What matters is that they commit to looking at their performance with honesty and using that information to improve. Over time, this habit compounds. Small adjustments made every day lead to massive transformation over months and years. Another important part of this habit is emotional regulation. Reflection helps entrepreneurs separate emotion from evaluation. A challenging day might feel like a disaster in the moment, but when reviewed calmly later, it might simply reveal a few small errors that are easy to correct. Likewise, a great day might feel like a total success, but reflection might show that the positive outcome came more from luck than from a repeatable strategy. This balanced perspective keeps them grounded, preventing overconfidence in success and discouragement in failure. Ultimately, reflection and adjustment turn life and business into an ongoing process of refinement. Rather than aiming for perfection, successful entrepreneurs aim for progress, constant, deliberate progress. Each day becomes a building block shaped by the lessons of the day before. This habit ensures that they are not just working hard, but working smart, moving forward with intention and precision rather than drifting aimlessly and hoping for the best. Success is not the result of one single breakthrough moment. It is the product of small, consistent, intentional actions repeated over time until they form a lifestyle. The daily habits of highly successful entrepreneurs are not magic formulas or overnight miracles. They are simple disciplines done consistently, even when no one is watching, even when it's inconvenient, and even when there is no immediate reward. They wake up with a purpose, they guard their time, they nurture their minds, they build strong relationships, they execute with discipline, and they take care of their health because they understand that success is holistic. Every part of life affects every other part. If one area is neglected, it will eventually impact the rest. That's why they don't just focus on building a business, they focus on building themselves. They understand that the best investment they will ever make is in their own growth. And as they grow, their capacity to create, to lead, to inspire, and to impact the world multiplies. The same habits are available to you. The same choices are in your hands, and the same disciplines can shape your future into something extraordinary if you choose to live them every single day